duty calls, the LAPD responds.
Let's be careful out there.
Working as a team to protect and to serve.
Whoever's got a gun, leave us alone! Why don't you just let her go? We have a critical missing.
I lost my puppy.
To fight crime and to keep our streets safe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the LAPD. I'm Mary Grady, Public Information Director for the Los Angeles Police Department. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, the men and women of the LAPD are protecting and serving you. Each year, the department honors those officers who have distinguished themselves with acts of bravery and heroism that are well beyond the demands of normal police service. Well, on this day, here in Hollywood, the department is going to be honoring 21 recipients with the Medal of Valor Award.
If you were to ask any of the award winners today for the Medal of Valor why it is they do what they do, many of them would respond to you that they're really just doing what other people would do in similar circumstances. I don't buy it. I think that what they do is extraordinary. And so the question is, how is it that they come to do these exceptional things? And the way I think about it is, well, they do it in part because of their training, in part because of their experience as police officers and their life experiences. But I really think that it comes down to their dedication and love for this city and its residents. They so love this city that they will put themselves in harm's way for people who may be complete strangers to them. They do these extraordinary things because of their dedication to your families, to you and I. And for that, I thank them. I can't thank them enough. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce Antonio Villaraigosa.
Thank you. How are you?
Very well. How
A
are
little
you?
fun in my expense.
Yes, not hardly.
It's great to see you, Mike. Thank you. Let's give him a big hand. Mike Rowe. It is a real pleasure to be here today. It really is. I had an opportunity to take a picture with the heroes who every day go in the face of weapons and threat to them and their person and do things that all of us marvel at, the bravery, the courage, the sense of duty and dedication that they have to the people of this city. And when I said to them, we are honored to be here with you, I said it because I know I speak for every single one of us. All of us who are here today to celebrate this bravery, to thank the men and women of this department and those who have done just a little more and sometimes a great deal more than anyone could ever expect. Yes, they signed up for this job, but they signed up not always knowing just how dangerous this job would be on a daily basis. And I think we're all very thankful for them, for their bravery and their commitment. Thank you on behalf of every resident of this city who understands that without you, kids wouldn't be able to walk to school. Without you, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the safety and tranquility that we are able to enjoy today. And we know that it's because of you that that is true. So on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, I want to thank you. You honor us with your sense of duty, your sense of conviction, your courage and selflessness. Thank you for all that you do. And again, thank you to the foundation for recognizing them, not just today, but every one of them, every single day. Thank you very much.
Last night, as I was driving in from the airport and listening to some genius on the radio talk about the heroes of American Idol, and the bravery that they demonstrated on stage, and the great dignity they brought to the, and I don't know, I just hear it all of the time, those words, they're on everybody's lips, it seems, but rarely is there a chance to use them in the way that they were truly designed. And to be around one hero at one time, that's amazing. To have nearly a couple dozen in the same room, very cool. The Chief of Police, William Bratt.
Good afternoon. It's so wonderful to look out in this room and see almost 1,000 people here to honor our 20 heroes. Our Master of Ceremonies said it all when he talked about the importance of remembering what the term hero really means. It is not somebody who's in a dance contest, somebody who is great on the athletic field, or even, in all due respect to all of our political leadership that is here, all of whom at different times display great skill, great work ethic. What we are here today to do is to truly honor heroes, each of whom, in their moment of heroism, could have lost their lives going toward the danger. So today we celebrate their heroism. We celebrate with their families, which is so appropriate because their families give them to us each and every day when they go to work. It's appropriate that we celebrate with their colleagues, many of whom have faced that very special danger themselves during their careers. Today, we honor those who put their lives at risk and fortunately survived, whose heroism you will hear about in a moment and get to think about and think, could I have done that? Would I have done that? Each of us who is privileged to wear this badge believes that if challenged, we would. Well, they did. And today we acknowledge and we honor them for that heroism and that courage. The Medal of Valor is awarded to officers who have performed an act displaying extreme courage while consciously facing imminent peril. That's heroism. That's what it's all about, and that's why we're here today. Thank you.
Police officers are often the first responders to fires. In our first story, Los Angeles police officers were on patrol when a rapidly developing chain of events led to their involvement. On the morning of August 26, 2006, Officer Carlos Quintero and his partner, Officer Ivan Vintimilla, were driving northbound on the Harbor Freeway when they saw a California Highway Patrol officer with a fire extinguisher running toward a burning motorhome. Quintero and Vintimilla immediately stopped and grabbed a fire extinguisher from the truck of their black and white. They tried in vain to put out the raging fire in the engine compartment and front end of the motorhome. The fire had reached the stage far beyond the capabilities of the officers' emergency equipment. As the fire quickly engulfed the motorhome, the officers heard a noise. Believing there might be someone inside, Officer Vintimilla braved the smoke and flames and went in. Because of the heavy smoke, Vintimilla could hardly see, and as he began to run out of fresh air, the officer saw what appeared to be a person. Vintimilla quickly advised Quintero and the Highway Patrol officer that there was someone inside the motorhome, but the thick clouds of smoke, heat, and flames prevented a rescue. Working together, the officers decided to break a rear window and pull the person to safety. Quintero climbed the ladder on the back of the motorhome and broke the window with his side handle baton. Smoke, heat, and flames poured out of the window. After several tries, Quintero was able to reach through the window and grab the victim. He knew immediately that was not going to work, and then held his baton out toward the victim and told him to grab it so he could pull him out. That's when the victim's lower body caught fire. Quintero would not give up, continued to struggle to rescue the victim, but in the end, the man couldn't hold on to the baton, and he was fully engulfed in the flames. The fire department arrived at this time and put out the fire. Unfortunately, the victim died at the scene as the result of his injuries.
My partner started to break out windows, and we started yelling at the inside to see if we could get any response.
And my partner rushed in, and shortly thereafter he came running out, and he'd obviously been exposed to a lot of smoke, and he was coughing, and he was just saying, "He's in there, he's in there."
Just inside the motorhome felt like 5 minutes when I was inside, but with all the heat and smoke, if I would have been exposed there for 5-6 minutes, I probably would have been a victim as well.
It was just so hot, the flames were already on us. And I put my baton in to try and see if I could just maybe pull him out as best I could, but I remember seeing his hand slip away from the baton, and at that point, flames burst up, and I fell under the ground, and it seemed like forever.
It felt like a long time. It felt like a lot longer than it probably was.
And I would want anyone to do the same for somebody that I love, or my family members, anyone. This is the right thing to do. It's the human thing to do.
I would like somebody to do for me if I was in that situation, or for my family and my loved ones. So it's not a question of if doing it.
I didn't have to worry about if somebody had my back. I knew my partner would be there for me. I knew if something happened, he'd be able to get me out, and just like I would for him.
And I knew that, in a sense, he would take care of me if anything happened.
My partner and I discussed the incident over and over again after the fact, and it does make you appreciate life more.
You see how quickly a tragedy can strike, and how with your loved ones you never know if that day with them may be your last. So I never miss an opportunity to tell those close to me that I love them and that I care for them.
I feel humbled and honored to be receiving this award. I wish it would have had a better turnout.
The award is bittersweet in my mind because of the result. However, I'm very, I feel very humbled by the attention that I've received and my partner has received as a result of our actions that day. I'm just happy to be a member of this department.
Quintero and Ventimiglia are commended for their heroic actions, their courage, and sacrificing their own safety in an effort to save a human life, the most generous and courageous offering one can make. These two officers' noble actions demonstrated the spontaneous and gallant efforts that epitomize the selfless professionalism expected of a Los Angeles police officer. For their valiant actions in the highest tradition of law enforcement, having brought great credit upon themselves and the Los Angeles Police Department, the Medal of Valor is awarded to Officer Carlos Quintero. Officer Ivan Ventimiglia.
I can honestly go home and say that I've changed people's lives for the better, and I've helped people. And sometimes I've helped people by putting them in jail and getting them out of a situation or a habit that was going to end up in their early demise. And sometimes, not all stories have happy endings.
One good thing is that
that I think is very valuable is that my partner and I have been partners for so long that I know we think pretty much alike. I know what he's going to do. I know that he's got my back. I've got his, and that I think helps in a situation because you don't have that second guessing where you might not be sure what your partner might do in a situation like that. And like I said, my partner and I have been partners for a very long time, and I think that helps in a situation. And the thing is, you revert a lot back to your training and the task at hand. And sometimes you're forced to do things that you're not trained to do because no scenario is going to be played out cookie cutter, just like they explain in the academy, where you do this. For example, the fire extinguisher, that should have doused the flames, but it didn't. Literally within seconds, it was back up. Now what do? You got to formulate another plan. You got to roll with it within seconds, because literally lives are depending on you to make the right decision. Basically, you have to be prepared for the unexpected, and every situation is very fluid and dynamic when deals like that. And you just have to be ready to make those decisions and to deal with them as they come.
Good tactics not only involve apprehending suspects, but protecting the lives and the safety of innocent bystanders. Our next story illustrates this problem. On December 24th, 2004, Sergeant Gregory Hoskins saw a suspect driving a stolen vehicle, which he had taken at gunpoint, and requested additional units. Two black and whites immediately responded and unsuccessfully tried to stop the suspect's car. The chase was on. The suspect led officers on a pursuit that traveled through the cities of San Pedro, Palos Verdes, Harbor City, Torrance, Carson, and eventually ended in the parking lot of the Hustler Casino in the city of Gardenia. Refusing to an order stop, the suspect jumped out of the stolen car and pointed a gun to his own head as he walked toward the front entrance of the casino. Fearing that the suspect was about to enter a casino full of people, one of the officers unsuccessfully fired one round at the man as he walked into the casino. Hoskins, along with 9 officers, then ran inside. They immediately saw people frantically scattering on the casino floor, trying to hide under gaming tables. Believing the suspect had run out, Hoskins and the officers went toward the south exit. At this time, officers Matthew Murray and Brent Riederick arrived at the entrance of the casino. They were met with scared casino patrons frantically trying to get out of the way of the gunman. While some officers went out of the casino through the south door, the suspect, who was still inside the casino, walked up behind a woman hiding under a counter, pulled her to her feet, and took her as his hostage. He soon let her go after she became disabled and entered the gaming area of the casino. The suspect began pacing around the floor, pointed the gun again to his own head, and shouted, "Shoot me." At gunpoint, the suspect ordered a man hiding under a table to stand up and took him as hostage. Hoskins immediately took supervisory control of the situation and formulated a tactical plan with Murray, Riederich, and the remaining officers. With disregard for their own personal safety and a high degree of courage and bravery, Hoskins walked toward the armed suspect, keeping in constant communication with Murray and Riederich. Together, and without any protection or cover for themselves, they approached the suspect from each side. The man refused orders to surrender, continued to threaten the hostage, and pointed his weapon directly at Hoskins, Murray, and Riederich as they approached. Fearing for the safety of the hostage and the people still trapped in the gaming area, Murray fired one round, striking the suspect in the head. The male hostage was not injured, and the suspect was taken into custody.
At that time, Murray, Riederick, and myself started to make our way around the corner, and I'm kind of directing them, telling them, be prepared, be ready.
We went in, pied the corner, and the guy was standing right there holding the hostage.
And I informed them that due to the nature of the situation, he can't leave. He can't walk out of here. He most definitely can't leave with a hostage. We can't let him lock himself in a room. And I said, and there's no cover.
There was a lot of things going on. There was a lot of chaos.
I go around the corner first, and I go directly at the guy, at the suspect. He points a weapon at me.
and he screamed, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you."
We started calling off hostage, hostage. I know my partner was right next to me.
So as I moved to my right, he started tracking me.
I was calling off things in the back to him, whether there was, crossfire situations, those kinds of things.
We have guns pointed at him. He has his gun, pointed at me and other officers.
Hopefully this guy's going to drop the gun, and he didn't do it.
His whole body turned.
The suspect just turned and looked right at us.
As I was moving and I got back on target to begin the press of my trigger, I hear a shot.
And right when he looked right at us, that's when the hostage's head got to move out of the way a little bit, and it was immediate decisive action right there.
Which Officer Murray took.
Officer Murray, in this incident, it was incredible. He did just the focus, the communication.
And they just fell back on training and muscle memory.
I couldn't hear anything in there. I couldn't hear the chaos. I couldn't hear the screaming or any of that. I just heard my partner standing next to me. We were just communicating. And it was after when the guy dropped to the ground that all of a sudden the noise started coming back and the chaos was starting to be perceived. And they talk about tunnel vision. Yeah, you're focused on everything that's going on right in front of you.
Everything seemed like it was taking forever.
It was like the movies. It was like slow motion. And it wasn't, but time slowed down.
Believe it or not, it wasn't so much the suspect, the hostage. I worried about my people.
He allowed us to work and provided guidance throughout.
We were faced with a situation and we did our job.
It's another day. You're just going and handling another situation.
I'm flattered that I'm being recognized for my actions and deeds. I'm honored, as my captain said, because he's a Medal of Valor recipient. He just said, you're going to be part of a very small fraternity.
There are many situations that the officers in the city of Los Angeles encounter daily that aren't recognized or they aren't seen because it's a part of the job. So it's a tremendous honor.
Hoskins, Murray, and Riederich are commended for their teamwork, their bravery, and their outstanding communication skills. Their courage and boldness in the midst of a chaotic situation while confronting an armed suspect with a hostage enabled them to end the incident without any innocent people being injured. Their selfless and valiant actions embody the highest traditions of the Los Angeles Police Department. For their outstanding efforts, the Medal of Valor is rightfully awarded to Sergeant Gregory Hoskins.
I don't think about what could happen. I already know what could happen. I knew what could happen before I even came on this job. When I chose this career path, just like being in the Marine Corps, you know the risk of the job. If you're a pilot, you know that you could possibly crash. If a police officer, I know that I could get hurt in a traffic accident. I could get shot and killed. I know all of these things, but you don't ponder it. I don't. And even every situation I've been involved in, it happens, and I just look at it like a problem. I look at the problem, and I try and think up the best, safest, and quickest solution to that problem. That's the only way I can put it.
Well, thank you for doing that. You saved some lives.
Oh, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme pleasure and privilege to present to you the Los Angeles Police Department's 2008 Medal of Valor recipients.
Well, you know, I just think about the incredible bravery that these men and women do every day. You know, and it's not just the award winners, it's just the people who get up in the morning, put on a uniform, go out and make our city safer for all of us. And, you know, and then when you hear the stories of the people who have risen to an occasion that, you know, has either prevented a life from being taken, or in the instance of sometimes, you know, unfortunately, officer being killed, you know, I just have tremendous pride in those men and women for what they do and in their sacrifice.
As the highest honor bestowed in the LAPD, the Medal of Valor is something that you would think that most people would aspire to. But as you've seen, LAPD cops are pretty humble. For the men and women of this department, it's all just part of the job. I'm Mary Grady. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time on another edition of Inside the LAPD.